Welcome back, everybody, to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, guys. We also have more breaking news today. This came out hours ago, though, but I wanted to make sure that you all were aware of it. Mark Walton, running back for the Miami Dolphins, who was drafted last year by the Cincinnati Bengals, but released earlier this year with a whole bunch of legal issues, and the Miami Dolphins picked him up. He had three pending charges that have now officially been resolved. Okay. Let me give you a little backstory on what's going on. Mark Walton has gotten in, I'll just keep it blunt. He's gotten in trouble with the law quite a few times within the last few years. And he's a great talent, very versatile. He runs at a different speed than everyone else, just an explosive weapon. The issue is a lot of people were wondering, was he going to be able to stay on the field in the NFL? Was he going to be able to actually get a shot due to all his legal issues? But when Cincinnati released him, Brian Flores is the one guy who definitely took a chance on the young talent after seeing the guy work out. What that means is they saw him work out and say, oh, he belongs in the NFL. He has legal issues. We'll play it by ear. Some people will easily, say things like, oh, but why would you just deal with someone like that? But I'll give you Brian Flores' words himself, okay? He said, I think people deserve a second chance. Dolphins head coach Brian Flores said after the team gave Walton a workout. I believe that. I think that's the case. I don't want to judge people based on one incident, two incidents. I think it's a case-by-case situation for a player and for people in general. And I like that for Brian Flores. It's kind of like that judgmental-free mentality of, people go through three things. People make mistakes. You can't judge a person just off of this situation or that situation, what they did or what they've been through at the end of the day. So I like that they gave the kid a chance. I'm one who says I like Mark Walton on this roster, but I was a little reserved of whether or not he's going to make this roster simply because he has all the legal issues hanging over his head. I've been on the record saying that out of the three other running backs behind Kenyon Drake and Kalen Ballage, he might be at a position right now where it might be very unlikely for him to make the roster because of his legal issues. But how quickly that can change, ladies and gentlemen. Today, it came out that Mark Walton, all three of his cases have been resolved. He will not see any jail time. He will not have to be incarcerated any further due to the instances that he had went through. Not only that, he did receive 6 months of probation. The DA basically didn't have airtight cases against him, so he decided to take plea deals on all of them. Also, two other things were dismissed. The aggravated assault, I guess, when he snatched the cell phone from a lady, and the two marijuana possession charges, I believe, were dismissed. Last I thought, those two were dismissed, but the other three have been resolved. He will not face any jail time. He will have 6 months probation. And what that means, if you're unfamiliar with the legal system, he's on probation, which means he has to keep his nose clean, his hands clean, his feet clean, everything about him clean for 6 months. Any violation within that 6 months can bring forth those charges and can actually basically put him in a whole lot more trouble violating probation. Could definitely land him in jail. That's the reality of it. So he's been given a second chance. So despite those things being resolved, is he really clear at this point? Regardless of probation, is he really clear? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you he's still not in the safe, okay? He's still not in the go. Here's why. You still got to deal with the NFL. The NFL now, since the legal case has been resolved, have all the information that they finally need. Now they have to determine if and or when Mark Walton will receive NFL disciplinary action. Will they suspend him? Will they say it's okay, it's not enough to get suspended? If you take note at Ezekiel Elliott as of recently, he had some issues similar, and they just said whatever to it. But what will they do in the Mark Walton situation? It was a lot of stuff. But what will happen? Now that's what's in the balance. That's what hangs over his head at this point. How will the NFL handle that? And ladies and gentlemen, I am one to tell you that is going to play a role in whether or not he makes this 53-man roster. That's not the only thing that plays a role. Many will argue right now that Mark Walton is the third best back on this roster. I can't argue that. I cannot argue that. But I can slightly challenge it. Laird has come on and emerged as a very good, viable option for the Miami Dolphins at the running back position. That's why all of this gets very interesting at this point. Our best running back is Laird. In fact, best or one of the best three? Please clarify. Let me know what you're saying, Rip. But Laird makes this entire situation very interesting. Let me tell you why. Brian Flores has said some things about Laird today that actually gives him an edge. Let me find, I had it pulled up. Let me show you all what Brian Flores had to say about Laird today. Here he goes. And I'll give you a few stats as well. Flores has been impressed with undrafted California rookie Patrick Laird, who has rushed for 75 yards on 13 carries in preseason, 5.8 yards per carry. Here's what Flores had to say about Laird. He does everything right. He had a good camp so far. He earned some more opportunities and has taken advantage of them. He also said that he's done very well in the kicking game. He definitely deserved to earn more reps. At this point, he just needs to stay on the path and he'll get more chances. But consistency will be key. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we officially have a battle for the third back on this roster. A lot of people wanted to automatically say Mark Walton was going to be the third back by default because he's the better talent. We don't know about that. Laird has something to say about that. And on top of it, I never thought Mark Walton was going to be the third option guaranteed, at least. I thought he could make the 53, but I thought that he wasn't a guarantee at all because of the legal issues. Now, a part of those legal issues have been resolved. We don't have to worry about a player that'll be incarcerated or anything along those lines. But he still has to deal with the league. So now this coaching staff is going to have a monster of a decision to make. Luckily for the coaching staff, luckily for Mark Walton, luckily for Laird, luckily for this team, Kenyon Drake is hurt right now. Why do you say luckily that Kenyon Drake is hurt, TD? Number one, luckily for Brian, the coaching staff, because now they get to see more reps with Laird and Mark Walton. That's why this coaching staff is lucky that Kenyon Drake isn't playing. Imagine Kenyon Drake still playing and Balazs playing. Preseason game 3, they're going to own the first half. And you'll probably get Laird get a quarter, Walton get a quarter, but not even, because you still got two other backs that they're going to get a little look at. It would have been divided too much. They all would have got 2 series, and that ain't enough. But luckily, Drake is dealing with what he's dealing with because I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine regardless. But luckily, these guys are going to get a lot more playing time. A lot more playing time in this vital third preseason game. I will go out on a limb to say, and I can't even be sure that Balaj is going to play, but I'm sure he will if they're going to be, dress rehearsal. But I'll go out on a limb to say that they may not, if they do play Balaj, they probably won't play him more than a quarter or a quarter and a half. They might bring one of those other guys in the middle of the second quarter to start that evaluation process to give a better sample size. Mr. Rogers says, stop playing, TD. What do you mean? What am I playing about? But anywho, but this is good for Walton. Why? Because he's going to get in preseason game 3 an opportunity to show what he can do against better competition. Same thing with Laird. Now, preseason game 4, these guys are going to go at it. They're probably going to get a quarter and a half each. Matter of fact, it might even be split up so much to where it's not like one of them is starting the first quarter and a half, and another guy start. No, it'll probably be, hey, you got these 2 series, the next guy got these 2 series, you got these 2 series. They're gonna be mixing it up, so they both can get some time and both starting with both groups of defenses they play against. So, with that being said, they should be lucky of the King and Drake situation right now. But Laird has made this a really good running back conversation. But another beautiful thing for the team, either way it goes, we're more than likely to be able to sign some of these guys on practice squad. I hope so. I really hope so. Whoever doesn't make it, because I'm one who say we're going 3 backs and a fullback. Some people said 4 backs. I don't see it. It is what it is. With the receivers we got, I don't see it. We'll go 3 backs and a fullback. With that being said, listen, man. I hope that whoever doesn't make the cut signs on the practice squad, but that's going to be hard. If people recognize what Laird did in preseason, his agent's going to come to him. Hey, you got some other interests out there. Don't sign to their practice squad. Let's tell them release you, and let's go ahead and move on to this team and that team. Same thing with Mark Walton. Oh, his legal issues are past him now? And he's already a year in. He got some NFL experience. I'm a little nervous about keeping those guys on the practice squad because whoever doesn't make the cut might have options. So we have to make the right decision right away. And we're not going to make that decision until the day after preseason game 4. But we got to keep our eyes on that battle. I'm glad to see that Mark Walton is turning the page on that part of his life. Hopefully he learns from his mistakes. Hopefully he becomes a better man for it. Luckily, Flores is the type of man that's a leader of men who's giving this man, young man, another chance. And he's probably going to play a vocal role in leading him. Because I won't forget preseason game 1 against Atlanta. The way Mark Walton came around that corner on that speed rush on the outside, that was beautiful. Touchdown. He's a weapon. But Laird has to be respected at this point. You can't just overlook the kid. He's putting that work in. And he doesn't have any baggage with him either. It's just the reality. Calling it what it is. So it's going to be interesting, guys. Y'all keep your eyes on this development. And we'll talk more about it as time goes. See what y'all got to say before I get out of here. I don't play fantasy football after I retired on top. But let's see. Rashad Jones out of the boot, and TJ is nowhere close to Jones. All right. TD, what's the good word, brother? Nothing much, man. I'm living, Josh Ferris. That's the good word. Stop playing, TD, man. Whatever, man. You talk about that Rashad Jones, TJ McDonald stuff. I ain't playing. If Walton is third string, Laird and Gaskins will probably end up in the practice squad. Gaskins might end up on the practice squad, but the way that Laird has performed, he might have options. I don't know. What's up? Oh, Balaj and Laird are 1-2. Drake dances too much behind the line of scrimmage. Oh man, y'all funny. I mean, you got a point, but it's just funny how y'all disregarding the man. Yeah, I realize that now, TD. Rip, you mean when you lose? Y'all ain't about that fantasy life, man. Y'all talking all that noise until you go down. What is your take on Charles Harris? I would love to see more dominance out of him. I like Charles Harris whenever we have a defensive tackle that's going to be doing their thing in the game. It makes it easier one-on-one battle. I mean, I'm not high on Harris right now, but he's enough. He's good enough. I will say that. Hopefully that's enough. You know, he's enough. That's what I'll say about him, okay? He is enough. No, he's not. He's enough, guys. It's schematic football. Y'all looking for the guy that's just going to devour their guy every time and get 15 sacks a year. That ain't what we need. Nor is it what we have to have, all right? All right, I'll be back live in about 5 minutes, guys. Next, when I go live, we're actually going to be diving into the Miami Dolphins players. We're going to be listening to their sound bites. We're going to listen to what they had to say after practice today. So this should be very interesting. I'm excited about it. That's what we're going to do on the very next stream. We're going to listen to the players, the clips of what they had to say. We're going to break them down. Xavier Howard spoke today. Devon Godchild, Sam Iguavan, Charles Harris, and Laramie Tunsil so far. We're going to listen to those 5 guys and see what they had to say today. And we're going to break it down on the very next stream. I'll see you all in about 5 to 10 minutes. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. Love y'all. Peace. Wait, Shake Money with the donation. I believe if Grant stays healthy, stays. I don't know why I said healthy. He will be used out of the backfield and Wilson. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. We're going to have a lot of multi-talented players that can do a lot of different things, man. Shout out for the donation, the love and support, though, Shake Money. Appreciate your love always, man. As always, you always come through for me. Rashad Jones underrated. I want Drake to be the man, but he needs to hit the hole and hold on to the ball. Yeah, them some major things he need to do, Tony. But I'm glad you recognize that when I say things like that, I'm a hater. So, hey, you're right, though. I agree with you. You're spot on. Do you feel any trades might be coming before the start of the season? I don't know, Josh, but I hope so. I hope so. All these assets we got, let's flip some of them now. I hope so, Josh. I'll see you guys in about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to break down those sound bites and go in hard on what these guys had to say today. It's some good stuff, y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.